every college had denied me on the junior college level. I literally emailed every coach. I called. They were like, "Hey, our recruiting process is over," or "Hey, we may consider you for next year." Or I mean, it was just all type of rejections. At Jacksonville's a coach named Coach Nabby. He said, "Hey, if you can come down, you can try out for us." And I was like, "Okay." I grabbed my buddy. We went down, and I tried out. I did not know that he was literally scouting me for his previous assistant coach who got the job at Eastern Oklahoma.
This is author Tim Brown of the book, Uncommon Athletes, Filled with Passion, Filled with Purpose. And then on this YouTube channel, I talk to a lot of uncommon athletes who've had some experiences in life and sports and in life that help them shape them and mold them and who they are today. And so I'm blessed today to have with me Patrina Goree. Yeah, who's definitely an uncommon athlete. She's from Houston, Texas, played high school basketball there in Texas, ended up going to finding one school who would give her an offer. She wrote to every school in Texas, and one, and all you need is one shot. And she got that shot, and she took that shot all the way from junior college to Division I basketball, and even to the Harlem Globetrotters. So she's truly blessed. So Patrina, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to get to have this conversation with you today.
Yeah, I talk a lot about being an uncommon athlete, and I always ask athletes on the show is, when did you find your passion for sports, and particularly basketball? When did you find your passion?
I'll be quite honest with you. I didn't know that basketball was going to be something that gave me a passion. I know my parents played. My mom, she actually was pregnant with me while she was playing up to about 5 months. And I think I was about 11 or 12 years old. I picked up a basketball and I just started dribbling it around. I found this vacant church parking lot and they had a goal and I just started shooting around on it. And I feel like I had discovered something new that nobody gave to me. So it was never forced on me or anything. I just kind of picked up a ball one day, saw this empty church parking lot, and I fell in love with it from that day.
Wow. How was your when you found that passion for the game? Did you just jump right in, jump on the team, become a star? How did all that play out for you?
I didn't. I was in middle school at that time, and the school I went to, it was a public charter school, so we didn't have a sports team at all. What I realized is I began to turn on the TV and I started watching Houston Rockets more on my own. I mean, this was something that was brought in my home. They were already watching games and things like that, but I was never really into it until I actually picked the ball up. I started watching college basketball, women and men, and I think it started like triggering and igniting that passion even deeper up in me. Just from picking up a ball in it was like an empty church parking lot. I never forget it.
And so you went on to play high school basketball. How was that experience?
High school was it was an amazing opportunity. I actually played at the same high school my mom played at, my dad. When I started at a different school, but I ended up transferring to Jack Yates because they found out I was zoned to my neighborhood school. And so I was even more excited because with that, it was pride, excellence and tradition from my high school. And when I got there, it was just so much passion, pride inside of me. And I just wanted to be the best that I could be in this sport with my school.
You're being an uncommon athlete, and sounds like you kind of started, young people now, they start playing basketball at a young age,
Yeah.
It sounds like you didn't even get going until middle school,
Yeah, I had a later start. I actually started playing organized my 9th grade year. Wow. All I knew was I was pretty good at it. I could play with the guys in the different parks and things like that. But I had never played on a team until my 9th grade year, but I knew I was good at it. Especially when I started playing against the guys, I just picked the ball up one day, and along the way, I started meeting coaches that would help out with, foundational mechanics and just different things like that to tighten me up.
Right. So let's talk about your journey after high school, your journey to college basketball.
Yes. So after I graduated from Yates, I had no offers, no interest letters, anything. I didn't know the process of going from high school to college. I knew I graduated from Yates, so we had a team full of stars on the men's side. And I saw, the motivation and passion they had. They were signing, and I'm like, how do I get to college? So I ended up going to this school in New Mexico first, and it was a University of the Southwest. And they had a JV team. It was an NAIA. So I ended up going there for a year, and I felt so disrespected, but the coach put me on JV, which worked out in my favor. I got a chance to play against all the top, I think it was Region 5 junior colleges on their JV team. So I was playing against better competition being a JV athlete at a college versus playing on the actual NAIA team. And that's how I got the chance to pretty much transition from there to junior college.
Yeah, and what junior college? You went to junior college in Oklahoma?
I went to,
Here's a young lady from Texas to going to Oklahoma. How was that?
Yeah, it was different. And I'm gonna tell you how that happened. So when I was on that JV team, my freshman year of college, I played against Jacksonville College here in Texas. And I reached out to every junior college. I was like, I know I can play at the junior college level. My goal is Division I. I gotta get to a junior college so that I can meet that goal. Well, every college had denied me on the junior college level. I literally emailed every coach. I called. They were like, hey, our recruiting process is over. Or, hey, we may consider you for next year. Or, it was just all type of rejections. At Jacksonville's coach named Coach Nabby, he said, hey, if you can come down, you can try out for us. And I was like, okay. I grabbed my buddy. We went down and I tried out. I did not know that he was literally scouting me for his previous assistant coach who got the job at Eastern Oklahoma.
Wow.
So that's how that happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you get to Eastern Oklahoma. Now, how did that work out for you? How was that experience?
That was great. It was the first time I had actually had the opportunity to feel what it was like to be the star of a team, to feel what it was like to be a leader, to be a motivator, to have to step outside of myself to be able to give not only to myself, but my teammates, my coaches, the university, the college, and the community. That was the first time I had that kind of a spotlight on me. And initially it was a lot of pressure. And once I relaxed after I had one bad weekend to start with the scrimmages, and after that, it was smooth sailing for me.
Then that junior college experience led you to a Division I offer right away, or how did that work?
No, so this has been a journey, right?
I tell you.
So at junior college, I had one interest letter, and that was from a school in Georgia. It was a Division II. As time went on, as the season went on, I thought, I'm a preseason top junior college player. I'm thinking, I'm going to have so many Division I offers and things like that. It didn't work out like that. So the coaches that were interested in me at the school in Georgia, they actually took another position at another school. And so I was without anything again. So I came back home. I was back at the drawing board, and I said, you know what? How did I get to junior college? I'm going to do the same thing to get to Division I. I don't care what I have to do. So I just remember hearing this message, like, everything starts at home. Everything starts at home. And so I was super bold. So I don't know if you know Cynthia Cooper, who used to play in the WNBA.
Yes.
She was the head coach at Texas Southern that year.
Wow.
So what I did was I emailed her nonstop. I blew her email up. And when I blew it up, she finally reached out to me. She was like, hey, I already have several point guards. I'm not looking for another one. And something in my soul just kept saying, don't give up, don't give up. I was like, hey, I understand you have, these point guards, but, I am me. I believed in myself so much that I was willing to put it all on the line. And I had I'm not going to say she gave me, I earned the opportunity to walk on there. After showing up my first day meeting her, I was like, hey, I could work out for you right now. I had just like a portfolio and everything as if I was going for a regular job. And I made it over time. And that turned out to be probably the best experience I had in college.
Wow. So what
Yeah.
is it? What is it inside of you that drove you to continue? Where does that come from? Where does that drive come from?
Honestly, not to sound cliche, but I just wanted so much more for my life. Um, I had seen so many different things. I seen my grandmother struggling. I seen my mom struggling. I seen these things. I seen, family members trying to find a way to get more, but it always felt like something kept pulling them back. And so I was like, all I have is basketball right now at this point. Through college, that was my mindset. It was like, all I have is college. This is all I have to do. I have to go to school. I'm a first generation college student. I was like, I'm just gonna try to do everything I can to succeed at basketball and see how everything else worked out. I didn't even think student athlete first. I was thinking basketball.
Wow. And from that, you also was blessed to have an opportunity to travel to Mexico and Australia with the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah.
How'd you talk your way into that one?
So I didn't talk my way into that one. It was interesting because the way that happened, the Harlem Globetrotters actually reached out to my mentor. And at this time, I believe she was like an agent, just doing different things. She had different connections, and they asked her if she knew any women that would be interested in trying out. And so she reached out to me and asked, and it was one of those things where I was just kind of like, I'll do it. It wasn't my fancy. I just wasn't pressed about it, I guess. I wasn't pressed. And I went to the tryout, and it was just something about the different routine that the coach had me going through. And I started to fall in love with the process after he kept asking me, hey, can you do it again? Can you do it again? Can you do it again? And this is stuff that the players will go over. It was actually a female on the team at the time who came down for that tryout, and I was just watching her. And as I began to do that repetition more and more and more again, I was like, hey, I think I can do this. Like it became more of a goal at that point. After that tryout, believe it or not, it took about a year before I actually got a chance to travel with them. So 1 full year.
Wow. So and all these, I want the audience to hear about all these experiences, which leads us to the book that you wrote. And you are definitely one who can write this book and who did write it. Really, and it's entitled Tools Beyond Sports. I was so excited when I looked at your book, those tools, and you talked about student athletes already having the tools that they need for success. Can you expound upon that and talk about some of those tools that athletes possess that will help them be successful at their sports?
Well, definitely. Well, we know that as athletes, in order to build on different skills that we have to have a foundation. We have to have a reason why we're doing what we're doing. And I think the great place to transition from life after sports is to know that we are the athlete. That is our foundation, in a sense, to shift the momentum going forward to the next phase. Even having an identity scavenger hunt. Well, going from high school to college, you might end up in a different position than what you were in high school. So now it's up to you to kind of refine your identity within a new team, or redefine your identity as a student and athlete. So we have these tools. We know what it's like to create a team. We know that networking is a part of creating a team. We have to respect ourselves, we have to respect our opponents, and we have to respect our game. It's the same in life after. We have to respect everything that we're fortunate enough to have, down to opportunities, through the people that we meet, preparing for opportunities. It's just like preseason conditioning. If you give up in preseason conditioning, you won't be right for that opportunity when your number is called. It's the same thing in life after. If we don't prepare ourselves for what it is that we're working toward, we're not going to put ourselves in the best position to succeed. So we have these tools, and this is something, these tools are something that we have worked on every single day, with going to classes, with practice, with postseason. Like, we still have to have a certain amount of discipline as a student athlete, and just as an athlete in general. And you have to have that same discipline in life after. It's the same thing. And I think that we as athletes are more equipped to be able to handle those adjustments. We just have to know that we already have it. It was just shown through us as an athlete. We can apply it right after.
Those are some good life lessons that you just talked about. Yeah, those are powerful. There's some athletes who listen to this who might be in that transition. What advice, what word of encouragement, advice would you give them?
The number one thing I would say is you are not alone. This is something that every athlete deals with. And the reason why I say that, I've had several conversations with people that have played all the way up into the NBA level. This is not anything new. This is something that we have to take time to kind of reassess who we are, because who we are is more important than what we do. We just kind of lost our identity as an athlete. And guess what? We are so much more. It's true. The saying that we are more than an athlete, it is so much true. But we have to kind of pull ourselves out of that atmosphere, kind of find a new meaning. And I'm not going to say a new meaning, an amplified meaning to life. And just know that being an athlete is our foundation. And it'll carry us over to everything that we want to do, and anything that we put our mind to, we know we can do it.
Wow, that's powerful. Could you share with the audience about your book, where they can purchase your book, and how they can get in touch with you?
Definitely. So my book, I usually always keep copies on me, even in my small library. But you can go to my website, www.toolsbeyondsports.com.
I want to thank you for your time, and I want to just continue to encourage you.
Thank you.
The Bible says all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord, called according to his purpose. So you look back over your life and all those things you've gone through, all of them for good,
Right.
because they had a purpose. And I believe your purpose is to encourage others through your testimony. And I know right now you kind of working with high school students, work with college age students who are kind of in between, those tweeners in between, trying to figure it out,
Yeah.
And then you're just a blessing, I'm sure, for those students and even for those student athletes. And so I just want to encourage you to continue on, in this journey, because the journey's not over with yet. I know God has even greater things for you. And lastly, I want to pray for partnerships, that the right people will come along in your life to help you on that journey too, because all of us need those right persons. And even as you look back over your life, I was reading here about there's a coach that you still keep in contact with. Something how God sends the right people in life at the right time. You said you went to one tryout, you thinking you trying out for his team, and really he's recruiting for somebody else that you're in there with.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned Cynthia Cooper. Come on now, don't get better than Coop.
It don't get any better than that.
I mean, that's just something.
And that's the one thing I always tell people, even starting my book, when you read my book, the first chapter is our foundation and why. It's the anchor. My anchor is rooted in my faith. My anchor is, I'm not telling people what to believe, but look, this is what I believe. I know that I wouldn't be where I am without my faith in God and my trust in his direction to where I am now. And I could sit here all day and tell you about my journey, but I promise you that would not be possible without me having to get grounded and to really search within to see, how am I supposed to do this? Because I know I can't do it on my own. I'm a first generation college student.
Right. God has been good. So I want to thank you for your time. And for those who are listening, remember to subscribe. If you haven't already been a subscriber, subscribe to the Coach Tim Brown YouTube channel and hit that button, and you'll be able to get pop-ups that'll tell you when the next, you get notifications when the next broadcast is coming. So thanks for your time, Patrina. I look forward to the great things that God has in store for you. Be blessed.
Thank you so much. You do the same.